Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Eleanor Rose. I work in the publishing industry. I do videos all about publishing and books. This time I'm doing a bit more of a fun video. I'm doing a Q&A and I have a load of questions here. I found this, where did I find this? I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember what gave me the idea to do this, but I found these questions online as I guess a bit of a get to know me kind of thing. It's gonna be a Q&A of all my questions, all my answers related to book questions. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first one is bookmarks or dog ears. So bookmarks are self-explanatory. If you don't know what dog ears are, it's where you get a book and then you fold over the corner of the page. I think that's it anyway, where you fold over the corner of the page. I'll be honest, there's a lot of criticism about dog ears, but I have done it only if I know that I'm going to keep the book though. If I think that I might be selling the book, giving it to charity, passing it to a friend or whatever, I definitely don't. If I know that I've been writing on it and stuff and I don't really care because I'm going to be the one seeing it, I will use dog ears. However, on a typical normal note, I definitely use bookmarks. Or if I don't have bookmarks, I'll use something like one of my business cards, something like that, that is just a bit of paper that I can put in there. So yeah. Next one. How many books are too many for a series? I'll be completely honest, I've never read a series. I don't know if that, I'm gonna get a load of backlash for that now, but I've never read a complete series. Even though I work at Bloomsbury and we publish Harry Potter, I haven't read them all. I've watched all the films but not read all the books because they're long. And that's the thing with me, I feel like I have a short attention span in that I wouldn't keep up. Then what if I'm waiting for the new one to come out and it's not come out? And yeah. In the last few months I have read The Rosie Project and I absolutely loved that book, like genuinely one of my favourite books ever. And that's part of a series, so I think I've got the second one now, like The Rosie something, and then the third one is like the Rosie Result, maybe. That would make sense if it's the final one, but I haven't read that yet. But I feel like 3, that would probably be enough, otherwise it drags on too long and I feel like the characters, you know, they're fully developed, like there's nothing else going on, you're just sort of making a story for the sake of it. But I'm definitely the kind of gal to just read a one-off book. Next one is hardback or paperback. I prefer paperbacks personally. Hardbacks typically come out before a paperback and therefore like they're more expensive as well. Paperbacks, they're more flimsy, so I feel like I can open the pages a lot easier. Hardbacks are obviously heavier as well. That's just a personal opinion. I do think that sometimes hardbacks look a lot more kind of elegant, like this one for example. I keep showing this one, it's just the one that I'm reading at the moment. Get Your Shit Together, it's got like the foiling on it, and that's not to say you can't have that on paperbacks, but I feel like it looks almost classy when books are hardback. But for me personally, I prefer reading paperbacks. Least favourite book. I've talked about this before and people are going to hate me, but it's Normal People by Sally Rooney. It just wasn't for me. I read this along with someone else that works in publishing, Portia. She did an interview for my channel, so I'll put that in the description down below, so check that out afterwards. We read it at the same time because we knew that we were so late to the hype and we needed to know what it was about, and we were both just like, what is this? Like, it was just boring. And this is not to say like I'm not going to start tagging Sally Rooney in this or anything, because I think it's quite controversial anyway. You either love it or you hate it, like Marmite. Normally as well, if I read a book, even if I don't like it that much, I think, oh, I got something out of that, learnt this, or I like this style, or you know, whatever. But I honestly felt like with Normal People, I got nothing out of it and I wasted hours of my life. So it's got to be that one, unfortunately. A book you could reread. This is more of a positive note. A book I could reread. I recently read My Body Keeps Your Secrets by Lucia Osborne Crowley. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Published by Indigo Press. That was kindly sent to me by Indigo Press, and I absolutely loved it for the fact that you could reread it. There's so much in there. There's so many sentences that you could put on quotes. You could quote them forever, and there's so much like knowledge in there that I think is really good. A book I could also reread is probably Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine. I read that a few years ago and absolutely loved it. I started rereading it again, even though that's something I never normally do, but yeah, probably that. Other than that, probably like just some like wellness and mental health books. That I put this one actually the other day. This is just called CBT, Cognitive Behavioural Therapy. £2.50, like that's so good. It's more of like a practical book, this practical mindfulness book as well, and it's all sort of like exercises. It's made so that you can come back and like reference it and come back to it, as opposed to just reading it once over. So they're also kind of books that I would reread. This one says thoughts on cliffhangers. I feel like, to be honest, I don't mind them in terms of if you just leave it as a cliffhanger and then that's it, I can move on with my life. There have been some books where I think, oh, I would love to know how this ends. For example, Rosie Project, I love the fact that they've got more after that first one. They've got the second and the third one, because I really did like that and I just liked the characters and I wanted to see how their lives panned out. But I definitely think some books just need to be left there. They don't need to, again, it's going back to that series thing, they don't need to drag it on. Leave it on a cliffhanger and leave it at that. Favourite book, this is kind of like what I've said, but I really liked Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine, really liked Rosie Project. Non-fiction, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot. I don't really have a favourite book. Probably those two at the moment. They're both fiction. I can't think of a non-fiction book that I've really, really liked at the moment. What am I currently reading? I'm currently reading Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. So, there's 2 more. Okay. 2 more. Buying or borrowing books. I tend to buy more books just because I want it like the next day because I'm impatient like that, or because I like the idea of it being completely new, fresh, sort of straight off the press, it's mine. However, I have borrowed books, so I said I'm reading Ghost by Alderton at the moment. That my sister has lent that to me. So I mean, if it's there and I know that I want to read the book, I'll definitely borrow the book. Otherwise, if I know that I want it and no one I know has got it, I'll just go and buy it. I feel like that's probably the same with everyone. I feel like my answers are probably very mainstream in this video, like everyone would say what I've been saying. And then finally, one point of view or multiple. So this is talk about the narrator in a book. I have a short attention span and get confused easily, so one point of view definitely for me. I did, however, read a book a couple of months ago that was called The Eighth Girl, and it was fantastic. It was about someone with multiple personality disorder, and the 2 points of views are from the patient herself and then from her therapist. It was quite distinguishable between who was talking about what. I feel like sometimes it's very confusing, especially if the characters are slightly similar or have some similarities. Equally, if there's more than 2, I almost switch off and I get confused who's talking about what and what's going on with that person's life. For me personally, definitely one point of view. I would love to know what you guys would answer for these questions. So if you completely disagree with something that I'm saying, put it down in the comment section below. Equally, if you agree with something I'm saying, put it down in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in for this video, and hopefully see you in my next one. Bye.